What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, as well as what is going on in the world today. Major breaking news today. The CDC has announced that fully vaccinated people do not have to wear masks indoors or outdoors at all. People who are fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus can safely resume life without any restrictions, according to a long awaited federal guidance released on Thursday. The CDC says if you are fully vaccinated, 2 weeks past the last required COVID-19 dose, you don't need to wear masks indoors or outside, and you don't even need to maintain physical distance. The new guidelines do not apply to healthcare settings, correctional facilities, or homeless shelters, the agency says. People will also need to follow local businesses and workplace guidances, so masks are likely continue to be required by private businesses. This comes as the CDC has been receiving criticism of being overly cautious. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm sure we'll see a variety of different opinions. Do you think that they should be removing mask mandates? Now, remember, this is for people who are fully vaccinated with either the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine or both shots of Pfizer and Moderna and 14 days past that. But private businesses, as well as places like airports and a lot of other settings, will likely have the choice to require masks or will be requiring masks still until at least the near future. The White House says, based on these new guidelines, that anybody inside the White House or Congress can remove their masks now inside if they can prove they've had a vaccine, both vaccines, if they're Pfizer or Moderna, and are past that 14-day guideline. Mitch McConnell says that he's free at last. Speaking of Mitch McConnell, who is the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, he's grown a little bit more important here over the last week as Democrats are actually trying to get Republican support to pass this next physical infrastructure package bill with Republican support, which would mean they would only need 10 Republican senators on board. And they met yesterday with both members of the Democratic caucus and Republican caucus, including Mitch McConnell. And here's what Mitch McConnell had to say about that meeting with the Democrats and President Biden.
Minority Leader of the Senate, McConnell, joins us now to discuss. Senator, thanks for coming back to Special Report.
Yeah, glad to be with you, Brett.
Tell us about that meeting. How do you describe it? What'd you take from it?
Well, no staff in there, just the six of us. The vice president was there. We had a very cordial meeting for about an hour and a half and discussed an issue upon which there's a great chance we can get a bipartisan outcome, and that's infrastructure. I did make clear to the president that we're not willing to go back and raise taxes, that is, undo the 2017 Comprehensive Tax Reform Bill, which brought us the best economy in a long time as of February 2020. I think they know that. That seemed to me to be accepted. So we need to discuss how big a bill and how we're going to pay for it, but not by raising taxes.
So did you lay a marker down? I mean, are you up to $800 billion now?
Well, I don't know where I think the amount ought to be defined by the scope. And we may have some differences about how you define infrastructure. I mean, we think traditional infrastructure, roads, bridges, ports, water lines, broadband, are things we can agree on. To the extent that they start getting off in rather exotic definitions of what amounts to infrastructure, we could have a problem. But I think the takeaway from the meeting, Brett, is that I think both sides would like to get an outcome.
Right. Well, you had some of your members go up and try to negotiate on the COVID stimulus early on, and they came away saying it was a good meeting, but then nothing transpired. I mean, do you feel like this is a different effort after that Oval Office meeting?
I do. I think they want a deal this time, and I think they want a deal with us because I don't think they can pass this second effort through a reconciliation package. In other words, I don't think they can get their own ducks in a row, and so they're coming to us, and that's generally how you reach bipartisan agreements. Plus, the subject matter is pretty popular on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
So Mitch McConnell thinks that there's a very good chance, actually, that they could come to a bipartisan deal for the physical infrastructure package, which is known as the American Jobs Plan, and will create millions of jobs. In fact, Nancy Pelosi, Democratic House Speaker, yesterday actually said the same thing. And here's what they have to say about the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan.
So you'd agree to a separate package, maybe that meets your requirements, knowing that Democrats would use or try to reconciliation for the other parts of the spending and the family plan that they've talked about?
Well, they're in the majority. They don't need my permission to decide how they want to pursue something. But we talked today about a bipartisan infrastructure plan that would require our involvement and negotiation. I think we've got a good chance of getting there on that issue. Whether they'll try another reconciliation on some other subject is really up to them.
Very, very surprising words from Mitch McConnell. He's basically saying he thinks they can get a deal on the physical infrastructure package. And he says the Democrats don't need his permission to continue on with any other bills through the reconciliation process. Now, he knows how the Senate works. It's actually surprising that he's not bashing the reconciliation process. We've seen him do that previously so that it could maybe deter the Democrats from using that. But I think right now there's probably about a 50-50 chance, which has come up significantly from probably maybe a 10 or 20% chance I put on it maybe a week or two ago, as there's a 50-50 chance they could come to a bipartisan agreement and pass the physical infrastructure package without using a reconciliation card. Now, remember, if they do that, the Senate parliamentarian has ruled they can use two more reconciliation packages or pass two more bills or two more stimulus packages or any type of packages with the reconciliation process. So, if they can pass the physical infrastructure plan without using a reconciliation process by getting 10 Republicans on board from the Republican Senate and pass that bill, then they can use two reconciliation processes later, which is really good news because one, we have the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, and Democrats are already talking about another package after that. Because even if the pandemic is completely over, we know that it could take years to get the economic portion of the recession or the depression we're dealing with back up to where we were. And back in 2008, 2009, it took over 4 years for us to get unemployment back to normal. And remember, we just had that absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible jobs report for April that we basically created only 25% of the jobs we were supposed to create last year. And Democrats are saying that's all the more reason why we need to pass this next stimulus package, this next physical infrastructure package, as well as another stimulus check in this next package. Senator Joe Manchin, the thorn in the Democratic side from West Virginia, he says also that we're going to find a bipartisan pathway forward, at least for the physical infrastructure package. I still think for the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, I think it's still at this point a 95% chance that the Democrats will pass that with the reconciliation process. Remember, Republicans and Democrats think very differently when it comes to stimulus right now. Republican governors want to get rid of the unemployment bonus. We've seen 11 Republican governors announce it now, and some of them are actually announcing bonus stimulus checks. I'll get to that here in a moment. But Republicans want everything to just go back to normal, go back to work, and no more money. Democrats are like, what are you talking about? The jobs report just came out. It was absolutely terrible. The economy is doing worse than expected, which is all the more reason why we need more stimulus checks, more stimulus packages, and we need to continue to pass help for the American people and for the economy. Now, we're going to be seeing a lot of state and county and city stimulus checks and stimulus programs coming out in the near future. As you know, there's the states and cities and counties are getting $350 billion, and they're going to be using this for programs like the big one that we just seen announced in California, which is a $600 stimulus check for up to 2/3 of all California residents. This is really the largest one yet. We've had North Carolina announce they're reopening their $335 stimulus check program to families. But this California one is for over 25 million people, almost maybe 30 million people. It's a $600 stimulus check for anybody that makes under $75,000 and an extra $500 check for a total of $1,100 if you have children. Now, this second part of the California stimulus check, this is actually the second round of it. The first round was for people that made under $30,000. This second round is for people that make between $30,000 and $75,000. I believe you can still get the first round as well. I think they're just expanding it all into one big program right now. But you have to file a tax return. You have to have California has to see a tax return based on the way they're doing this, the details, is you have to file a tax return to get this money. For this new expansion that is not quite yet approved, but is very likely to be approved, people making between $30,000 and $75,000 a year will qualify for the stimulus check, the rebate. But previously, it was people up to $30,000. I believe that is still available. Palmer said that $75,000 is the hard cap for earners to receive the rebate, whether you are a single filer or married filing jointly. A married couple's joint income is $75,000 or less. They are eligible for the stimulus. If it's more than $75,000, they are not. Earlier this year, state lawmakers approved the first round of this, which was $600 stimulus checks to low-income people making less than $30,000 a year. People who receive that check will not get another $600, but they have dependent children. They could be eligible for the additional $500. Also, as you can see here, the $600 does qualify for SSI, SSP recipients approved in the Golden State stimulus package and low-income people. But again, you need to file a tax return to get this money. So if you want to read more about this, just Google Golden State Stimulus Program. You'll see here, this is a one-time $600 stimulus check or $1,200 stimulus check for married filing jointly couples per tax return. Okay, this was the previous round that is already approved. Again, when you see here, you'll receive your payment. We have scheduled and issued stimulus payments twice a month after your eligible 2020 tax returns are processed. So if you haven't received this and you want to, you need to file a California tax return if you're from California. It's currently approved up to people making $30,000. This next round will be for people making $30,000 to $75,000 per household. So keep that in mind. But I don't see any way to get it if you don't file a tax return. Again, if you don't file a tax return, you're not required to. You still qualify for it. You're just going to need to go ahead and file a tax return. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know if you've already received this down below in the comments as well. We're going to see a lot more states coming out with programs like this. This is the largest one yet to date. The states and cities have not got their money yet. There's $350 billion that is going to start going out this week, and they'll maybe be receiving it by next week. But some states are already considering programs on how to spend it once they get the money so they can basically spend it as soon as possible. All 50 states are getting billions with a B, billions of dollars to use for programs like this. So I will keep you up to date when I see your state. I'm going to be on the lookout for all states going forward. And if you know of any stimulus programs from your state, county, or cities local to you, please comment them down below in the comments. Don't put a link because it'll go to the spam filter if you put an actual link. But let our viewers know about as many programs as you guys know about, because the more people we can help, the more people in our extended family here, our community that we can help, the better. Governor Doug Ducey from Arizona is also creating a new stimulus program. He's one of the 11 Republican governors that is eliminating the $300 federal unemployment boost for their state. However, he has just announced a $2,000 back to work bonus stimulus payment that they're going to use from the unemployment stimulus money. Arizona Republican Governor Doug Ducey says, he quotes President Ronald Reagan and says, "The best social program is a job," in the words of former President Ronald Reagan. He says Arizona is back to work. Effective July 10th, which is still 2 months away, Arizona will no longer be paying the $300 per week federal supplement to unemployed workers. And instead, we will be helping Arizonans get back to work. He says return to work bonuses. Arizona will set aside $300 million of federal resources to offer a one time bonus of $2,000 to eligible individuals who return to the workforce and get a full time job, while those who return part time will receive a $1,000 stimulus check. He also says there will be education incentives. Arizona will provide $7.5 million for community college scholarships for currently unemployed workers who are eligible for return to work bonuses, and $6 million for a GED test prep and exam fees for eligible workers without a high school diploma. So we're going to be seeing a lot of kind of like miscellaneous stimulus programs like this, back to work bonuses, $600 stimulus checks statewide, like the California one. Generally, each state's going to have their own criteria. It could be for low income people. It could be in North Carolina, they have reopened up a second round of their $335 stimulus check for families. So you have to have children to qualify for that one. Each state is gonna really be different here going forward. We're gonna have some states do mortgage assistance and rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance. All 50 states have done previous rounds of this, from the first round and also the second and third round, with mortgage assistance, rental assistance. But we've also seen states do other county-wide stimulus checks. The one that always comes to mind is Orange County, Florida, did 3 different rounds of $1,000 stimulus checks. Basically, they did a round of $1,000 and to a certain amount of people, and then like the money ran out. Then they did a second round, and then the money ran out. And then they did a third round of $1,000 stimulus checks. So we just seen, I believe it was Maryland, do a $300 stimulus check for single people and $500 stimulus check for married filing jointly. We just see New Mexico have a $600 stimulus check, or a tax rebate, I think they might be calling it. So we're going to see a lot more of these in the near future, in addition to the fourth stimulus check package and the ongoing mortgage and rental assistance that are going on, and about the 15 different items that are currently being discussed for the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan. As you know, they're discussing a fourth stimulus check in there. They're discussing whether it should be monthly stimulus checks. We have 2 different proposals, one from the House of Representatives for $1,000 monthly stimulus checks, one from the Senate for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. They also want to expand or increase the child tax credits, which are basically monthly stimulus checks that are going to be starting in July, and will pay $250 per month for children ages 6 through 17 and $300 per month for children under the age of 6. They want to expand that to the year 2025, or even permanently to continue on those monthly stimulus checks for children. And the parents who claim them as a dependent on a tax return is the person who will get the checks. There's even some Republicans in support of that. So that's one of those deals they could kind of do through a standalone bill and take out of the next stimulus package and pass it through a standalone bill and then put other things in there. As you know, they're also pushing for Social Security increases. There's 3 different proposals there: $200 per month raise, $279 per month raise for SSI, possibly SSDI, and President Biden wants to raise Social Security to 125% of the poverty line. And then we have Medicare increases as well on the table, to have free hearing, free dental, free vision, free hearing aids, all included in Medicare, and lowering the eligibility age. So I'll keep you up to date. We also have home buyer tax credits I'll be talking about in an upcoming episode. $15,000 to $25,000 in a home buyer credit to buy a home. There's a lot of different items. I'll be talking about them as new information comes out about each one. I will be discussing it. Remember, don't miss out on any episodes, so you don't miss out on any important details or stimulus programs you might have to apply for, like this California one or the North Carolina one, or these back to work bonuses. Are going to be a lot of different programs that you might have to apply for or do something to kind of tell them that you're eligible. So I'll keep you up to date. Don't miss any episodes. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. Join our family of subscribers. It's completely free to do so. After subscribing, click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. This bottom video is about President Biden's Social Security increase. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on the Amazon FBA platform. I've had dozens of students replace their 9 to 5 income by selling products on Amazon FBA, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.